Hi, I'm John Abrahams with Jpixx LLC. I'm the owner and creative director of our company. Well, Jpixx has been around for more than 10 years now, ever since I really got out of college and just started doing photo, video, all that kind of stuff. I've always had a camera by my side, and so kind of started out doing advertising, doing brochures, catalogs, that kind of stuff, and then of course weddings, portraits, all that kind of stuff on the side. And then just last year, I decided to take the company full time, so I left my day job and basically created my own new day job, and now doing video marketing probably 60-70% of the time, and then keeping that other small percentage for like fun projects like short films or music videos, stuff for friends, just stuff to keep the creative juices flowing, and ultimately kind of keep pushing that realm of our company forward. I think there's a lot of people in this world that they have this inner desire, ambition, just to kind of be their own boss and set their own rules. And I think that's probably something that's always been inside me. And even though I had a great job with a pretty good sized agency, managing a photo and video department, there just still wasn't that freedom of like which clients to go after, how much extra work to do for such and such client, or even just being able to make those final decisions, whether it be, like this really should be 30 seconds, not 60 seconds, or, we should really do something funny here, not just the standard, price point, that kind of stuff. So at the end of the day, that was one of the main reasons or that I decided to just kind of move everything to my own name with Jpixx. And luckily, I've been here or been in the area long enough where I knew lots of cool people that were talented and easy to work with. And so we've kind of just naturally gravitated towards each other, and just kind of picked up the ball and started taking as much work as we can get, and a lot of good word of mouth. A lot of good word of mouth work has come in so far, and even though I like to say that we do a lot of video-led marketing work, of course we don't take care of our own marketing probably as much as we should. So that's all. Even without that though, we've done well so far and made a lot of good contacts, doing work for both cities of Norfolk and Virginia Beach, and getting in with a lot of nonprofits, doing some good community work, which also ends up helping us spread our name and our good word as well. So all in all, I mean, I think that ambition, that drive to go out and do your own thing, and people have been really supportive about saying like, oh John, like your stuff is great, you got this certain vision, this and that really fuels fuels the fire and like makes you really want to go out and keep following what what I have my mind set out for. So just in the last few months, some of the nonprofit projects that we've worked on, Tidewater Arts Outreach, that's based out of Norfolk. They do lots of great work with putting music and arts into the hands of people who might not ordinarily get that, whether it be like senior living homes, or certain schools, or with disabled or underprivileged areas. And so they do this year round, but then every year they have the C-Level Singer-Songwriter Festival, where it's like 3-4 straight days of just national acts coming in, local emerging artist contests happening. They bring the art community, music community all together. It's a blast, and I basically go in with my crews and we document the event. This past year we recorded the emerging artist contest and posted everything online with graphics, edited. We even had our own little online contest. And really just our idea was just to say, this is a really great event, this is a great organization, more people should know about this, more people should be aware that it's going on. And so we put it in a positive light, and it really just benefited everybody. I mean, they got more views, more people out there. We got a lot of people commenting on how much they liked our stuff as well. So that worked out. Girls on the Run is another nonprofit that we just finished wrapping principal photography on a short film that we've kind of concepted. A few months ago, a friend and producer of mine came to me, and her daughter is in this program. Girls on the Run is an after-school program for elementary and middle school age girls, and it really is just meant to boost confidence, keep them physically fit, get them to do something after school with a team building environment, and also with the idea that you got to stay in shape. You shouldn't be watching TV all the time. So, as opposed to coming up with the typical 30-second PSA or, a flyer that says this is why they need to do this, I've wanted to continue doing projects with a strong message behind them, and that's actually kind of where Jpixx wants to go as a company. You know, I was looking for opportunities, and this one presented itself. And the mission of just, you know, that it's important to get our kids the confidence and what they need to succeed throughout school and in life, I thought it was very interesting, especially now I have two young kids myself. And so we developed an idea. It's not your typical ordinary PSA for an after-school program, but we went out, and it was nearly a 4-day shoot with an entire volunteer cast and crew. Shot on the red, you know, got and professionals all up and down the you know the spectrum, from producers to wardrobe. We had Amelia, who was the wardrobe person for AMC's Turn series that just came out. So these guys are coming in with, like, you know, I mean, massive credentials, and expectations are high. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to create a positive message, and it's not just going to be, you know, I want to create a superhero film where this and this happens. It's going to be something where hopefully it'll not only move people to learn more about Girls on the Run, but it also be a more broad message about just, hey guys, no matter if you're a parent, a neighbor, a teacher, a friend of someone who's got kids, we just need to keep our eye on the ball and make sure that these kids, you know, are raised in an environment where they feel like, you know, they are something, and they should be able to express their opinions and be themselves and be comfortable with that. So those are two nonprofits off the top of my head that we've worked on even just recently, and they're both kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum, but we're always just kind of on the lookout for what to do with the community, because I think that's an important part of the whole business film, you know, connection. So being a filmmaker in Hampton Roads is definitely has its, like, unique aspects of it. I wouldn't say the filmmaking community is, like, you know, gigantic by any means. I think a lot of it is somewhat underground. I know the first probably 3 or 4 years that I was even doing stuff, I only knew of a couple of friends of mine in the area, you know, for a variety of reasons, because I've been doing it longer, but also because of a couple of things that have happened in the community recently. I think that we've started, you know, collecting as a community, arts community, a little bit better. And so I feel like, at least in my mind, our filmmaking community has expanded. So there's that, you know, there's that nice base of people that probably any area has. But then as far as, you know, what makes us unique, obviously, you know, things like the jets flying overhead at any given time. I feel like no matter where we are, there's a chance that, you know, there'll be like 30 minutes of jets just flying overhead. And if you haven't witnessed it, it's pretty much deafening to, like, the naked ear, which means the person holding, like, the boom mic with the headphones, you know, dialed in, it's going to, you know, blow their eardrums out. So there's jet noise. You know, I wouldn't say that, at least from my experience, the city of Virginia Beach hasn't been overly inviting in, you know, in bringing in work or supporting, at least on my smaller indie scale. I think the state of Virginia seems to be doing a little bit more the last couple of years, which is pretty cool and pretty exciting. But there doesn't seem to be a lot of incentives, you know, to give indie filmmakers a lot of leeway, or a lot of, you know, like a little bit less political tape to go to less hurdles to jump over to make their, you know, their visions happen. But even with that said, you know, they obviously they have actually no, they don't. I don't think they have. Hampton Roads doesn't have an official film office anymore. So I think that was because of funding cuts in the last few years. You know, one thing though that is really nice is just the variety of natural backgrounds in the area. You've got the ocean, which, you know, to everyone living here is like, yeah, the ocean, we see it every day, we live right next to it. But on a more, you know, national, international scouting scale, I mean, it's pretty dope to have an ocean. And we've got, you know, like Sandy Beach ocean, but then we also have, you know, stuff a little bit further south, where, you know, maybe it looks a little bit more natural. We also have, like, swamp up in the north end, and we have the Dismal Swamp down south, which is, I've never shot a film there, but I know a couple people have, and it looks incredible. The town center area, and of course downtown Norfolk, gives you kind of a good feel of, like, that city life. You know, obviously you got to find your right angles and stuff, but that's always really cool. And then, you know, go on Pungo, and now you're out in kind of rural areas where you've got farmland, you've got kind of woods-ish area. And so that all is really cool too, and that's not even considering, you know, the military bases and that whole commercial side of things with the shipyards and that kind of stuff. And then just a few hours away, you've got mountains, and you've got all, you know, that whole realm of things. And so within a couple of hours, obviously Richmond and and even DC. Within a couple of hours, we are, really primely positioned to get a ton of variety of locations that look totally unique. And that is definitely one thing that I know we have here, as opposed to where I'm from, Missouri, where it's kind of like we've got cornfields and we've got a downtown, but outside of that, there's not going to be a whole lot going on. I think locations and the people here kind of definitely set us apart. So Jpixx is an evolving company as far as what we want to do, what we want to set out to do and accomplish. But I think right now it looks like I've really just fallen in love with just marketing and being able to convey messages to people that with a purpose. I've always kind of liked this idea of making a film narrative with a story and a message behind it. But the idea that someone or a client might have a need that says, we really need people to, think about, their diet, or we really need to talk about global warming or something like that. It doesn't even have to be issues that large in scale, but, people have messages, and a lot of them are often really important messages that I can also align myself with. And if I can create something using moving images, a storyline, a narrative, and also have it kind of the undercurrent be a message that we're getting across, I think I have a pretty, I think that Jpixx has a pretty unique set of skills that can really combine those things, and for now on an incredibly low budget compared to some of these other, other large productions up and down the East Coast. But that's really the future of advertising. It's less and less kind of in your face, this is what you need to buy and this is why you need to buy it, and more of the, if you're like this and you believe in this as well, then you should consider, aligning with our brand and our product, because we feel the same way. And I think that's something that I really, it really is kind of exciting for me to get in that, because I love problem solving. I love figuring out ways to get the point across in a different, unique, creative way. And so with filmmaking and narrative kind of short styles, or the style of creating almost like a short film, I'm finding that it can be an extremely effective way to just kind of cut the clutter and really bring home a message that otherwise would just fall flat on its face if it were a traditional advertising campaign. So I've seen it, we see it all the time. The Cannes Lions Awards over in France, they honor the best in marketing. And year after year now you're seeing it, these large productions of just a great storyline or just a great unique concept or something that you just haven't thought about. And at the end of the day, you end up seeing a logo that it was sponsored by, and you're kind of but more importantly, it's that message that you're left, and you're kind of thinking wow, that's true. And then and you think, wow, I guess, that brand really spoke to me. And it's really a curious thing, because who knows if I'm going down the shopping aisle and I now see a brand that I align with, am I more likely to buy it than the cheapest brand or whatever? I don't know where that stands, but I think that's because this whole society is evolving so quickly. But I do think that's where it's going, especially once we kind of fine tune how the human psyche works and how we bring in information and how we connect it emotionally. I think there's something really cool in that realm, and we at Jpixx really want to be a part of it. So the 48-Hour Film Festival is a internationally known festival. I'm pretty sure it's gone more than 10 years now. And, they came into Hampton Roads maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and every year we were, I was definitely involved. I was hooked right away. They've got, essentially, you have to create a film, you have to write it, shoot it, edit it, and turn it in 48 hours. And they give you requirements like a prop, a line, a character, that you have to use to make sure that you didn't just create this 5 months ago and are submitting something. So for a weekend in the summer, typically, 15, 20, 30 teams are all forming and creating a film. And like I said, I've just been hooked ever since it started. So the fourth year, I want to say it's the fourth year in doing it. We hadn't won anything before, but my wife and I were coming back from China, actually, and we filmed our 48-hour mostly on a plane, and we ended up winning Hampton Roads, and it was a really cool experience. The film was called Passion Fruit, and it got us to the international finals, which was in Miami that year, and we got to see all the city winners from around the world. And it's one thing, to see Richmond, DC, and maybe New York, and you know, in the same screening theater as you. But when you start adding like Shanghai and Dubai and all these other cities like London, you know, it's a really cool feeling, because you're not only seeing awesome films by like peers, like your filmmakers just like yourself, but you're seeing this great snapshot of like culture around the world. And of course, like a lot of it's closed caption because there's language barriers going on. But just the visuals, and then, you know, not just seeing the films, but now you're interacting with these filmmakers from around the world, and talking about just different things, you know, what equipment they're using, or what's, you know, what's new and upcoming, you know, in their part of the world. So that was a really great experience, and it really kind of gave us a good idea of what is, you know, what would win that type of contest. And so the following year, we did it again, and again we won the city with our film In Captivity, and went to the international finals, this time in New Mexico at the Taos Short Film Festival. As a part of that festival, and we ended up winning the whole thing. So out of all the cities in the world, you know, they call our name out, Hampton Roads, which nobody knew where Hampton Roads was, by the way, but that was like the #1 question. But we go up there and we accept it. I also got honorable mention for best director. We got best editing, and I think maybe one other thing. But it was it really kind of gave us a lot of validity that, you know, the team that we could put together and what just a few people could accomplish could really rank with some of the best talent that's around the world that was doing that same contest. And you know, on one side you think, oh, it's just a contest for amateurs, you know, what are you going to do? But on the other, typically it's not uncommon for some of the largest agencies and some of the best talent to actually participate. I know, for example, Martin in Richmond, I know for several years if they weren't doing it, I think their video production people that were involved were doing it. You got these giant studios and talent out in LA and New York that are investing. I think they probably have, you know, 60, 70 teams minimum. I think DC, for some reason, I think they have like 100 teams that get involved every year. So there's a lot of talent going on. There's a lot of stories, and we were put on the pedestal and essentially fast-tracked to the Cannes Film Festival the following spring, where we got screened, where we got to experience that. And that was another giant step in just kind of us realizing where we are in the world, not just Hampton Roads, with what we could accomplish. And you know, like any project, like most directors, In Captivity is not a perfect film by any means. I definitely appreciate what we did in 2 days, but at the same time, you know, when I'm talking about it, you know, I say, well, you know, we had to shoot this scene, and it was raining, and we could not shoot it any other day. So, you know, there's a lot of things that don't go exactly as you'd like, but I think part of it is just salvaging what you can, getting as much and going in with as clear a vision as you can, and seeing how well you can execute on that vision. And I think with that same mentality, we've taken it to our next couple line of projects that we did over the past couple of years. Last year we entered the Canon Project Imagination film contest that was sponsored by Ron Howard, and we were a finalist in that. And that was a nationwide contest, and they sent us up to New York for that screening, and that's where we got to bump shoulders with Eva Longoria, and I got to go to Jamie Foxx's after party and, like, you know, cheers a drink with him on stage. And so, and then with some different online contests we've been a part of here and there, and we've had a pretty good string of being either just being finalists in just about everything we've done. And I think a lot of it is just because we have a lot of heart in what we do. We have, you know, I would say it's kind of we're kind of a cerebral, you know, film production company when it comes to making something. The idea is to make you want to think, to try to show you something maybe you haven't seen quite before. And so even with the Doritos spot that we did 2 years ago, we were semifinalists in that as well. And so I think we've got a pretty good track record of just always competing at that level. And what I really like is that we don't set the bar at a local level. We are trying to compete at a national, international level. And I think that's important for anybody who's really trying to push themselves. You've got to set your own bar. You can't be happy with what people are happy with around you, and that definitely kind of keeps us pushing forward. And with it, you know, comes more eyeballs, comes more people that see your work, and it just kind of, like, you know, goes in a cycle, and hopefully keeps you know, growing on itself. That's a weird way to end it, but
that was good though.
Grow on itself. We've lived now in Virginia for more than 10 years, and we can probably safely call it our home. And there is definitely a lot of cool aspects of it that kind of keep us here and make it a great spot for people and family all around the country and the world to come visit us. The climate is pretty nice. It really doesn't ever get too cold, and we like to complain about the heat in the summer, but it's really not that bad. Being next to the ocean is pretty giant. I myself like crowds. I like events, and Hampton Roads has a ton of them with surfing contests, with art festivals, and all that kind of stuff. That kind of thing kind of draws me, just that buzz, that activity. But it also, my wife is very into kind of the more quiet scenes as well, and then we've got a lot of state and national parks in the area. I think there's even a reserve down south. Going to the interior of Virginia, you got all the Shenandoah Mountains. We've gone camping out there before. You could easily, walk for miles and miles and not, meet another soul. And then, up in Northern Virginia, with the suburbs of DC and that whole area. Again, if you're looking for the big city feel or just kind of that history aspect, a lot of that can be found up and down the East Coast. I know Richmond is a place we'd like to visit just because of all the history. And just right around that same corridor, Jamestown, Williamsburg. We were just there last week, and they've got a great mix of just seeing where the roots of this country began. And then, of course, you got Busch Gardens and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool, too. Myself, I haven't really been out on the ocean that much, but I do know that a lot of people get out there to just sail or to fish, and that would be kind of one thing that I always suggest people to do as they come in. We've got some sporting franchises in the area with the Admirals and the Tides for the sports enthusiasts, at least in Hampton Roads, and what I would consider the typical Hampton Roads person. It's definitely a melting pot in this area. Lots of different groups. Obviously, a heavy military influence in the area that I think definitely gives us a certain character that maybe not a lot of other cities have. There's a very strong, I feel, East Coast connection as well. Lots of people from New York, from Baltimore, from Philadelphia that come down here, and I don't know. I feel like that it is. Tourism is a large part of this area as well. So in a strange way, like if I'm a Hampton Roads person and I'm not a tourist, then maybe I'm someone who is probably trying to avoid all the thrones of tourists that are coming in. I would say chill, relaxed. I'm definitely on the Virginia Beach side, so we've got we have our own local spots that we like that are a little bit quieter. Where we can, there's a definite southern charm in the area that I found very, warm and refreshing when I moved from up north, and it's this mixture of southern charm and like a vacation, destination, with a good dose of just the arts district that's kind of growing on the Norfolk side, and the stability that the military and the government bring to the area. I think really kind of keeps schools at the top of the quality line. It keeps just housing and all that kind of stuff. I feel like we're all very stabilized here, and that's actually one of the reasons why we moved here. When we did, is just because it had one of the lowest unemployment rates. The quality of the schools was so high, and of course we're living on the beach, so that's just one of to see a sunrise over the Atlantic Ocean is kind of a hard thing to beat when it comes to just life experiences and just being able to. I mean, it's free. It's a free experience that you can have any day you want, and that's kind of a cool thing about Hampton Roads.
Put the cord down!
At the end of the day, the clients don't need you. They don't need any advertising at all. What are we gonna do?
Print's the only one that can survive without electricity.
Without it, we're as good as dead air. So, P, don't forget about us. Please! Wait! Time!
You have 10 seconds.
I know we live in difficult times. The client needs us now more than ever. You too will always be tied to the bottom line. But quality, nay, quality advertising will always be tied to their hearts.
Time's up.
You bastards!
You will pay for this.
Oh, reliable friend. You haven't changed in more than 50 years. But now that your friends are out of the way, I look forward to defeating you with my new super secret weapon.
You know you love me, I know you care. Just shout whenever, and I'll be
She's
there.
fast, she's cheap, she's everything you're not.
I've gotten 248 comments. What have you done in the past 4 seconds?
Romance for the future, old man. Finish him.
Unbelievable. If you want something done right, you've got to do it sometimes yourself alone.
What?
You can't keep us down. We'll be back.
Not if I have anything to say about it. Say goodbye, print media. Print, catch.
What in the hell is this?
The Frenchality.
The future!
Brent is back, bitches.
Print, you saved us.
Who is this?
Hi, on social media.
TV.
There would be new challenges to the future. And I'm pretty sure that wasn't the last we'd see of budget and time. But one thing was for certain. Quality advertising won out on this day. And with a new friend by our side, the future looks mighty bright.
Did you stop at the store? We're out of Doritos.
I did not. I was going and then
Doritos!
Sweetie, can you keep a secret?
Daddy.
Fine. Fine. You win.
All of it.
Okay, that's how it's gonna be, huh? What happened to my sweet baby girl?
Don't try too hard to catch the winds where they are going, where they have been. Don't try to outrun what the winds are showing. Just gotta give in to where they are blowing. 'Cause who are we? Who are we without the ones we love? And I love. Sometimes it blurs it down and weathers your face and leaves us no trace. When you find yourself far from home, well, it's better to move than to stand still when you don't belong. While the rooftops are up in the air, while the inside of our lives are blowing around, flying out of control. There's no side by photograph. Everybody hold on to the ones that you love. That is not a sign of every day. Don't waste your time on the lonely yesterdays. Everybody smile when the wind blows us around. Can't get you the one that just gotta do what you need. Hands in the air, everybody give it a start. I'm trying to
Casanova. Casanova.
I have your poet, and you know it. Tick tock goes the clock. I'll have your poet.
Do you have time for another game? Pick a card. Any card. 3 minutes. Well, if you don't like the game, say something.
Casanova, please hurry. He has me worried.
You know what you have to do. Just say it. Say it! And she's all yours.
Let her go!
Oh, no you don't. It's gotta come from you.
It seems hard, like a tongue twister. Just start out small, with a little whisper.
How boorishly cute. The poet and the mute. You always were a little slow. 10 seconds, Sammy. And Tammy goes whammy. It's the simplest thing in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The boy who cannot speak.
Casanova! It's fine. There's not enough time.
Pick a card. Any card.
It's okay. I know what you want to say.
Game over. Tammy, clock's ticking.
Hold on.
Tomorrow we'll have time to work on your rhymes.
Hi, my name is Will. I'm 8 years old. My family moved out because I hurt my brother. Now I'm alone. Dr. Schmidt says I've been getting better at controlling my emotions, but it takes time and practice. Thank you! Yeah, got it. Here you go, buddy. I'll take care of you. You look fragile. Just like me. I wonder what she's listening to. She probably likes Coldplay. I think she likes you, Will. Really, Beta? You think? She knows you're there, and she never leaves her room. She does that for a reason. Maybe. She's a lot like us, you know.
I see you're well acquainted with the beta.
Dr. Schmidt.
You remember what we discussed, Will?
Yes.
And were you thinking about the girl?
Of course not.
Good. Because you remember what your uncontrolled emotions...
You don't have to ask me that every day.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. Will, I have a surprise for you, but you have to promise not to get too excited. Watch the monitor.
Hey, buddy. I just wanted to say that we're thinking about you.
You're doing so well. Stay focused, and pretty soon we can see you again.
You've gotten so big. You're gonna be a bright young man.
Your sisters are doing well, and Brandon is, he's doing much better.
Anyway, they're gonna let us make another video soon, so we look forward to that.
Honey, remember that we love... Remember that we miss you.
Will, pay attention to my voice. You remember what we agreed upon, right? The more you learn to control yourself, the more surprises we have in store for you. We believe in you, Will. son what you can do when you harness the power of your emotions? I'm so proud of you, son. I'll be right there.
You again. No!
Will, take a deep breath. Help me understand.
I didn't mean to.
You're having an episode. Just calm down.
I messed this up. It wasn't my fault.
Will, listen to the sound of my voice.
I'm sorry, Will.
Just calm down. Please. Send me the same location.
Security breach. Let's go. I know this moment won't last. No alarms, no Dr. Schmidt, no tests. The waves, her warm hand. She's not scared of me, of what I'm capable of doing. I'm Will. I'm 8 years old, and I'm finally free to do whatever I want.